Alright, so I was gonna make a post about this, but then I realized that that'd probably take a long time. So I decided to make a quick video recap of the session we had yesterday. Our D&D first edition. We wrapped it up last night. It was probably one of the funnest sessions I've had. I feel kind of bad because I kind of stole the show. I didn't intend to, but I kind of did. Essentially what happened was we were supposed to infiltrate a stronghold of giants and either, kill them all or kill their chieftain. So, without really saying much, because in my head, and I was thinking like my character would think, I'll go ahead, sneak in, get the gate open, and then everybody will just follow me in. Things didn't really work out that way. So what ended up happening was I infiltrated the stronghold by myself. I was invisible the whole time, and I got to a safe location and used my scroll of ice storm, which ended up killing two of the only two giants that were in the courtyard of this stronghold. And after that, I had a choice. I could either walk straight into the stronghold or I could walk into this small building out in the courtyard. So I went ahead and I checked out the building in the courtyard. In there was this horn that they use to, I assumed it was just to signal everybody that there was something going on. So I climb up onto this giant's table and I knock the horn over off the table, and then I jump down off the table, blow the horn, and then immediately hide. The wolves that were out there immediately started clawing at the door, and then one of the giants came out and shoot off the dogs. And when he went back into the room he was in, I've already slipped in there to check things out, and I was hiding under the beds, really just to see what I could do in there. It turned out all I really did was, and I don't know why this sounded like a good idea at the time, but I was just like, you know what? Sounds like a good idea. So I went ahead and did it. I stabbed one of the sleeping giants in the foot, and he immediately woke up and started crying, "Something bit me, something bit me." And then one of them looked at it and said, "This is a sword wound or a knife wound, And so they started looking around thinking that, there was something in there. But I was still invisible. So they never really caught me. But I did some failed attempts to redirect my voice to make it seem like I was in different places of the room, because I was thinking, I'm invisible. They're not that smart. I might be able to spook them, make them get freaked out and leave the room or something, so I can check out the room. That didn't really work out. So I had to try and slip out while one of the giants, he went outside of the room. I can't remember exactly why. He went outside the room and then he came back. But when he was coming back, I tried to slip out and I ended up breaking my foot. I was able to drink a potion, and DM said I can go ahead and say that heals up my foot just a bit, but it's still pretty sore. So I did that, and I escaped from there, and I took the horn with me. I got to the front gate and blew the horn, and at this time I still didn't figure out for some reason that it calls the dogs. So the dogs come running at me, and I'm just like, uh-oh. So I take out my rope, I throw it up onto this gate, and climb up to the top of the gate. And I walk across the top of this fence, and I end up having to pass out on the stronghold roof. Then after the next day came around, I woke up. I went up to the top part of the roof where there was some smoke holes, and I was able to just walk right through them, because to me they were tiny. I mean to me they were big, but to them they were tiny. And I got up to the what are they called, rafters? I don't know, but like the support beams in the roof. I was climbing across the support beams in the roof, and I found a spot between the support beams and the chieftain's chair, the chieftain of the giants. And it was about a 30-foot drop. So I went ahead and took my chances, and I dropped, and I believe I took a little bit of damage. But I was able to keep my balance. And the chieftain was sleeping in his chair, and his wife was laying there sleeping with him. And me being the tactician I am, with all the amazing ideas I come up with, I jumped off the back of the chair with my sword and knife in hand, came straight down right into his neck, and he let out the loudest howl, and was frantically running around going like this, just didn't know what to do, and he ended up tripping over either himself or the steps or something, fell face first into the fire, and just roasted. And sadly, the way I was invisible was with dust of disappearance, and when the stuff gets wet, it stops working. So some blood got on me, so it made me easier to see, and I tried to make a move silently check to get out, and I failed my check. So the chieftain's wife actually started, she was kind of like rubbing the tears out of her eyes, and she kind of stopped for a second, and she saw the blood trail on the ground, and she just got furious. She saw me, and I just started running, and at this time my party, the wizard had cast a spell to where the party can just walk right through the wall, and they're also invisible during this. And as I'm running away, I can't remember what class he was, but nonetheless he cast a spell where this giant spider web showed up, but he left a gap in it to where I could run through it if I wanted to. But the fighter in our party was my character's brother. We were essentially brothers because our characters grew up together. But he wasn't the smartest of people, so he ran headfirst in and started fighting this giant woman. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this, but by this time all the other giants freaked out because they saw their chieftain die, and started heading for the hills. And so he slices her stomach right open. And when I realized that my brother's here, I stopped running, and I turn around real quick, pull out my bow, and without even thinking, I just let off a couple arrows, and I was able to shoot her right where she was opened up, and when she let out a scream, my second arrow went right into her mouth, silencing her, and she died. So after that, we just headed out. Like, I didn't even give them a chance to talk to me. I was just like, we got to get out of here now, before anything else happens, because our job was to kill the chieftain and get out. So we headed out, ran for the forest, and we were able to rest for a moment. And by that time, I just told them, I did our job. I did the job. That's all I really told him. He's like, okay. And then we headed back to town. The reward my character asked for was a house that would be paid for, basically because he knows he's bad with money, and he didn't want to take any chance of not using the money, the reward money, for something good. So he just told him, this is a quick decision, I'm just saying this now and I can't take it back. Give me a house for me and my brother to live in, and we'll be good. But after that, when I went back to town, I asked him for one more favor because I lost my weapons, and I asked for one weapon to be specially made for me, and that's it. I want the house and the weapon specially made for me, and I wouldn't ask for anything else ever again. And he retired from basically swindling people and adventuring and doing all these random things, and he just settled down and became an entertainer, because he had he would normally do tricks for, like, he would do like table tricks in order to cheat people out of their money, but he decided that he would rework it to entertain people instead. And I basically said that he went on to try to basically keep children out of the life that he got into. Because when he was young, he lived on the streets, just him and his brother. His brother wasn't that smart, so for a while he kind of, feeling bad about it later, he would use his brother as muscle, and then he was just the brains of the operation, and he would make his brother feel that what they were doing was justified when really they were just being bad people. So he realized that what he was doing was starting to upset his brother, so he needed to stop. That's why he got the house, and that's why he settled down and became an entertainer. But nonetheless, it's just, I don't think I've ever had an experience like that in any game I played. I just thought, for one, it was a lot of fun, it was very entertaining, and I really feel like I love this character. Like, I'm really connected. I believe everyone has a character like this. They just have that one character that, if they had no other choices, this would be their go-to. That one character they would be willing to play again and again. And I believe this will be the character that I'm willing to play again and again. Nonetheless, if you have character stories like this, I would love for you guys to share them with me. But until then, later, guys.